Thunder's in 7. We're moving on. We're going to the best coast, which is the West Coast. And the 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder clawed back in game 4 to tie the series against the 5 seed Dallas Mavericks at 2 apiece. So, Jaevon, I'm going to throw it to you first because Kyrie is your boy. But before we throw it to Jaevon, I want to mention that the Dallas Mavericks are 3-0 this postseason following a loss. And so keep that in mind going into game 5. Also, Luka Doncic has the most career points per game after a playoff loss ever of all NBA players. Like Luka Doncic averages 34.8 points per game after a playoff loss. That's right ahead of Michael Jeffrey Jordan with 33.2 and Allen Iverson with 30.2 and Jerry West, the logo, 30 even. That's what Luka does in games after a playoff loss. And finally, I will mention that the emergence of PJ Washington has been amazing for the Dallas Mavericks.
Amazing.
Man, in game 2, Luka Doncic and PJ Washington became the first duo in NBA playoff history, each with 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 3-pointers in a game. And so, PJ Washington has really stepped up, Jaevon, but what have you seen in this series between the Mavericks and the Thunder?
Well, I'll start off with tonight. I feel like the Mavs kind of had this game in the bag, but OKC went on a run late in the fourth. Going on that 9-0 run was pivotal for them. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander having to do a lot with that. I just think that when it comes to these late, because most of these games are kind of coming down to the wire for the most part. You have to be able to A, make your free throws, and B, not turn the ball over. And I feel like that's what the Mavs did towards the end of this game. They had a lot of missed free throws, a lot of miscues, I'd say, down the stretch that kind of hurt more than helped them. And, OKC kind of just capitalized off of that. And you got a guy in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one of the top players, an all NBA caliber type of player, in his first playoff stint. He's shown the world why he's one of the better players in the league. And him leading the way with 34 points, kind of putting the team on his back and speaking volumes to, we get that we don't have that much experience, but we can still come out here and we're the number 1 seed for a reason. And they came out and got a road victory. And that's what great playoff teams are able to do, go out and give these road victories. I just think, when it comes to Dallas, they gotta they cannot turn the ball over and miss free throws because that was huge for them down the stretch. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Luka is clearly hurt. The way that he's kind of limping and wobbling around the place. So Shaun's, stat that he said that he's one of the best players in NBA history, off of a loss. I would like to push back just a little bit off of that due to his health. I don't know how healthy that he is. And another thing, Kyrie Irving had 9 points, which is that is unacceptable in a playoff game, especially if you're trying to go up 3-1 and go into a potential closeout game on the road. So Kyrie was off tonight. That was very pivotal. I thought Shai made a lot of key buckets down the stretch. Really, a lot of their young core did. You had Jalen Williams with the baseline dunk that he had, which kind of looked like a double dribble, but I mean, I thought he kind of double dribble, got away with it. He had a steal down the stretch late in the game. Chet Holmgren hits a very clutch corner 3. And their young core, man, they're making plays down the stretch. So they have the momentum now going into OKC, and they can take a 3-2 lead. And go up and then go back to Dallas up 3-2 in a potential elimination game. So this series, I feel like it's probably been the best series of all of the playoff series so far because there's really a lot of back and forth. And the Thunder are the number 1 team. So, but they haven't really been favored by much in most of these games because of the star power, obviously, in Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. But OKC, man, they might go to the Western Conference Finals, and just a lot of people who weren't really picking them to make it that far. I mean, you might blink and see them in the Western Conference Finals. So, hats off to the Thunder for winning this very key game. They couldn't go down 3-1. If they would have went down 3-1 to OKC, it would have been very, very tough for them. But hats off to the young Thunder.
Garry, where do you see this series going? Because just like the others, it's now become a best of 3. And as Jaevon mentioned, Luka Doncic, as great as he is after a playoff loss, he is pretty limited, or at least he's injured right now. So actually, let me reframe that, because the thing in sports is people always say, are you hurt or are you injured? Luka Doncic is clearly hurt, but he's playing through it right now. If he was injured, I think he'd just be out completely, unless he's just playing because he will continue to play unless he was immobilized. Anyways, Garry, where do you see this series shaking out?
I think I got the Mavs still winning this series. I still think they can win it in actually 6, to be honest with you. I can see that. I see them winning game 5, like you mentioned. They've been pretty good off of losses.